Latin America is almost as big as the United States. Yes, in terms of people, in terms of divisions or states. We have many countries that have a local regulation for each. So you have a challenge there in regulations. The big challenge is you need to understand the regulation for each of the countries in Latin America.
Good evening for who is in a different time zone that I am. I'm Gmeiner. I'm one of the directors at the Founder Institute Brazil and Founder Institute Portugal for some years now. And I'm really glad we are here to discuss how to launch a startup in Latin America. For that, I will have here along with me Horacio Cuervo and José también, que that will soon join us. But Horacio, please introduce yourself. I cannot be so precise about your resume and all the things you have been doing.
Well, I can tell you that I am a tech savvy, system engineer here in Buenos Aires. I work almost 30 years for IBM. 12 or 14 years ago, I met with some entrepreneurs working for IBM, and it changed my life. I started to work from IBM developing businesses with them. So maybe 8 years ago, we started the local chapter here in Buenos Aires for Founder Institute. And I don't know what else I can say about me. It's just an old corporate guy who works with tech entrepreneurs, and I like to talk to them and try to help them to develop their business and their objectives.
That's so good. I do appreciate when corporations come close to startups. I do believe it's the best way to make startups to succeed. And now we have Jose joining us. Jose, how are you doing? Please introduce yourself.
Hi, sorry for the delay, but
No problem.
Oscar finally to join.
It's good to have you here. We have just started, so if you could please introduce yourself to our audience, it will be fine.
Great. Hi, everybody. It's nice to see you. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about startups and learning how to make them grow. My name is Jose, and I'm a deal partner of Ganas Venture. It's a VC based here in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, and I'm more than happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much, Jose. It's really nice that we can be together in this panel and discuss about how to launch a startup in Latin America. I would love to learn from you both. And I would love to learn also from you who is attending this event right now. So we have a poll to understand about your intention to launch a startup in Latin America or just expand it into Latin America. So please vote here or just click on the vote button and then go to the answer, and please select this so that we can know you better. While you do that, I'm going to start here with Horacio. Horacio, I know you have just told us about a little bit about how you got to this startup ecosystem from IBM, and I would love to hear a little bit on how it was in a little bit more detail. So how did you get, what startup was that, or at least in which area this startup was working at that had this appeal for you to join this ecosystem?
Of course, working for, I had my official role at IBM was as a commercial in different areas, services and hardware and cloud computing at that moment. And one of my conversation with a customer just referred to work and talk to 2 or 3 entrepreneurs that were willing to prove to test our technology. And then I discovered what an entrepreneur is, what a startup is, and what are their needs. All my talks in all my career, even when I am an engineer, were more commercial and more focused on business. So my curiosity has, told me you have to ask about the business, you have to ask how they get money, you have to ask a lot of things that I need to understand how 3 guys started a company from trash. And I was very how to say, curious about that. And I started to talk with them, with different some of organizations helping startups and entrepreneurs. I started to work as a mentor in different programs, most of them with universities, local universities, and some venture capital local venture capital here. And I started to make a network of contacts in the ecosystem. So as most of my conversation were about businesses, I started to connect my official role as a salesman in the corporation with the local startup ecosystem, and I started to connect them in terms of business. So what I did was present. I don't know, a drone manufacturer. I met in a university with the biggest oil and gas company here to just make a proof of concept. Yes. So they started to work like that in a proof of concept. I started to help them to connect them with other companies. I started to help the companies to get innovation from startup. That's why I started to move. Everybody is asking me, hey, do you know a company or a business company, a small business company that work on this or that or that aspect? And I started to help them to connect. So I make my personal brand in the ecosystem as a connector. So customers of my company were thankful because I helped them to create innovation besides the internal restriction they had. So that's how I started. Now, of course, I'm a big part of the ecosystem. So I'm known about being a connector between startups and corporations.
That's so cool. And as I said before, it's completely amazing because it's the best way, especially a B2B startup has to grow, has to try their hypothesis. So it's amazing you started and keep doing that, Horacio. The ecosystem thanks you a lot.
Thank you.
Jose, I want to also know about your background and your journey in this venture capital world. So tell me, please, a little bit about what you have been doing in Latin and USA ecosystem, please.
Okay, so I started my journey at 21. I founded my first company. We did it really good 12 years ago. We did VR and AR technology for like big corporations. And for 3 years, I learned there how to technology can change people's life, no, and give access to new jobs, new opportunities, and especially we can compete directly with other countries that have the same technology and in other regions. That gives me this kind of entrepreneurial soul that helped me to achieve some things after that. My first job outside of Ecuador was in Google for startups. I was mentoring some founders there for a year and a half. And after that, I came back to Ecuador, working for the corporation 5 years. After the 5 years working for the corporation and learning, I learned a lot how the flexible can be a startup and how rigid can be at corporations, how the bureaucracy compared with a small thing and the big elephant that you have to move there. And I like uh, went back one more time to my entrepreneurial path. I worked in a startup. We raised like 2 million.1 in a pre-seed fund in Bogota. We did an exit there, and after that, and or in parallel, you can say, I've been working 8 years from Silicon Valley to Ecuador and other cities in Latin America, being the connection, being the bridge. So my role is to connect the entrepreneurs in Latam with the startup grind. I've been doing that the last 8 years, and we do this. So it's like we have an event each month in each city in Latin America. We gather entrepreneurs there with three main goals. The first one is educate them, inspire them, and connect them uh, so they can have a safe space to grow. And also, we give them the opportunity to come to Silicon Valley and be in our global event. The global event is like the main point that when they are starting the business in the USA or they want to get familiar with the ecosystem, is the best first step that they can do. Is an event where all is about community. People come from 125 countries, and also we have like the most important VCs, the CEO of OIC, 500 Global. You can mention, and we have one or two speakers from that branch. So in that way, we connect them and we close the gap between people in Latam and like the true players in this ecosystem. So my job was that for 8 years, and this last year I've been working with Ganas Venture, and we invest in Latam and USA and seed and pre-seed startups. We look for community-driven startups. That means that we look for that kind of founder that have the ability to create a community and leverage from them for them. So if you are a founder that have a community and you are making or defining a solution for a problem that a community has, is something that we are looking for. Our thesis is that is proceed community driven founders. We invest in software, not hardware, agnostic to the industry, and we really are a underrepresented founder looking for um, my BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous people of color, and we want to be that first door and open that opportunity for them.
That's great, Jose. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story and history, and to let us know. It's so important to let us know your thesis, your investment thesis, and I enjoy that so much. I appreciate it. Let's before I make other questions for us and Jose, I will ask you who is here participating with us to bring your questions on the Q&A Q&A menu here that you have on your browser. But also, I would love if you could write here in which segment your startup works, or the startup you're planning to build work as well. So please let us know so that we can maybe address some questions you have, or at least understand where you are from and where you want to go with your new business. Horacio, I would like to hear from you which opportunities you have been seeing for early stage founders in Latin America, and how these founders can leverage these opportunities, or take a chance of grabbing these opportunities for them as well.
Okay. Opportunities, we may divide it into big areas. The main opportunity, if we talk about sectors, of course, fintech is one of them. EdTech is a sector I'm seeing expanding here in Latin America. Health tech is also one of the sectors that are more growth in the last. This is an empiric evaluation. Is what I see. Most of the
Sure.
people who was asking me to have a conversation about his startup talks about fintech, edtech, and health tech. Is also growing a lot in my experience, the amount of startups talking about real estate in Latin America. So these are the sectors. Of course, artificial intelligence and blockchain are, if you are talking about the technologies that they are willing to implement, are these two. Artificial intelligence, I don't have to explain why. Blockchain, I guess, also. And the other opportunities that I see, that for a person willing to start or to launch a startup here in Latin America, are related to the market. Yes, in terms of, we are a very diverse market. Even when we talk mostly two languages in all Latin America, we're a really diverse and cultural diverse region. So we have a lot of talent down here in Latin America. We have a lot of ways to test and try a concept here in Latin America. So if you are not from Latin America and willing to sandbox a business concept, Latin America and some countries are very good to do that. We have a very good, a very connected young peoples in Latin America. So we have a very good first-time market for a concept. If I got to explain this, is a lot of. We have a very good penetration of internet and smartphones in Latin America in the young people. So we have a very good position in terms of doing business or starting a business here. And I don't know. Then we may talk about complexities, but this is the opportunities I see here.
That's great. Thank you for that. I have been seeing the same path, especially here in Brazil. I have been talking to different startups here, and I have been seeing a lot of edtechs, health techs, and fintechs as well. And I don't need to say, AI is everywhere, right? So
Yes,
we are using AI to help us solving problems, right?
I have a phrase I do with when they pitch to me. I say, if you say artificial intelligence, I turn off my ear. If you say blockchain, I turn off my other ear. So yes, just tell me, what are you going to do? I know that you are going to do with blockchain or artificial intelligence, exactly, or whatever the technology. Just tell me what are you going to do, and who are you going to help. These are the what I need to hear at this moment. I know you are going to use IoT, artificial intelligence, blockchain, or whatever you are going to use to perform or to execute your roadmap.
Yeah, I agree. We already know AI is going to be everywhere. You're right, and the differentiation is no longer that, right? The differentiation is how we are going to solve the problem, not necessarily the technology you are going to use to achieve that. Jose, we're talking about these opportunities Horacio brought us on Latin America. In your perspective, uh, and you are investing in companies here. So, from your perspective, which sectors do you think are more appealing for not only investment but also innovation too?
You are in mute.
Yeah, you're on mute.
I think that for us is the most important are like the SaaS businesses, like everything related with SaaS and with B2B is going to be very attractive. Um, I also coincide a lot with Horacio. I think that are the industries. In our perspective, we look for problems, and this is quite important for the entrepreneurs. We look for not solutions that are solving or solutions that are nice to have, sino in the other way, solution that is a must to have. So I think, especially in Latin America, we have some gaps to close, and that gaps are like the main factors uh, to focus on. No, so here in the USA, maybe it's improving the Tinder and launching another Tinder with better functionalities, but in Latam will be access to finances, education, um, English learning, something quite basic. We have, and we want to help them to solve that kind of problems.
Yeah, much needed. I do agree. It's the difference on offering your solution and someone asking for your solution. It makes things really, really easier, or solutions really easier to sell when we are must to have a solution or solving a relevant and real problem, right? Jose, I will bring this question we have on the Q&A space. So, what are some effective ways to attract local or international investors for Latin American startup? Jose, please.
I think that the best, so for attraction, I think um, is networking. I think is the key tool for attraction is networking. If you're alone in your country and you don't have resources, or you are alone in your city, reach for the next group, reach for the next community event that can be in your government startup ecosystem or in the private industry, in the private sector, communities that start a grind or funding institutes. I think is the best first step for any founder looking for attract investors. When we talk about international investors, I think one more time, international events are a great place to meet with real person VCs, and also like close the gap that maybe if you are alone in your city or you are in a city in Buenos Aires and you want to meet someone in Miami or Silicon Valley, um, if you reach them through mail, to LinkedIn, it's going to take you time, and probably you are not going to have an answer as quickly as if you go an event that you know that investors are coming or the sectors that they are coming or willing to go, and probably there, if the investor is a speaker, you are going to be sure that he is going to be there, that people are like that look as them or as she or he is going to be there, and you can approach them to talk and have and put a face in the name. I think that is what worked for me personally and worked a lot for entrepreneurs that are trying to attract, have attraction or like be connected with international investors.
Do you think those investors they are open to be approached on LinkedIn, for example? Do you think they will answer, or they will at least assign someone from the fund to talk to these entrepreneurs?
I think that we got a lot of messages in in LinkedIn, and nowadays with automation tools, is more and more every day. So I think that is the way that you approach the investor is very important. So if I can say, if I can see a different subject and a different one-liner opening, or a different way to that I can remember you, is going to be the best thing, but the open rate for LinkedIn is quite hard to achieve. No, it's difficult.
That's sad. Would love to hear
Yes.
from you that it works because sometimes we are far from the events. So yeah, but it's good to know so that we won't bother investors with a ton of messages.
We I have a comment about that
Please, Horacio.
that uh, that concept that talked about Jose. I totally agree on networking. I also agree on creating trust. Yes. To if you create trust in your network, you will be able to ask somebody in your network to present in a more personal way to the investor. Just a call, chat or mail or contact in LinkedIn or wherever. You got the message or you got the cell number and send the message without preparing the other part to talk with you. Is not good. Is candidate to be dropped out from you will be in the background of the message. I had experience that if you as an entrepreneur trying to convince me that I need to present Leo to you, I will try to present Leo, and Leo are going to be willing to say, okay, let him have a conversation with me. Let create an agenda or a meeting or whatever. But there is a lot of more probability to Leo to have a conversation with with any entrepreneur in Argentina. I'm talking from Brazil to Argentina. If I present somebody to Leo, than if that person alone send you a message to you. So it's trust and networking. Yes, you will create networking, but after working the network, you will create trust, and you will get to the right person to ask for an investment or whatever you are needing.
It's a full-time job then, so to
Yes.
relate to investors and eventually get an investment, right? So we have a question from Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed, for your question. For the both of you, what are the primary legal and regulatory considerations to be aware when we are launching a startup in Latin America? You can start, Horacio. Go ahead.
I can tell you something. I don't know from where is Mohammed from, but I can tell you something. Latin America is almost as big as the United States. Yes, in terms of people, in terms of divisions or states. We have many countries that have a local regulation for each. So you have a challenge there in regulations. The big challenge is you need to understand the regulation for each of the countries in Latin America. So you will have a real challenge there. So you need to network and to be part of the ecosystem, to the local ecosystem here in Latin America or in the country you are going to start your business, because each country has different regulation. Even as I tell before, even when we have two languages, Spanish and Portuguese in the region, it's not the same to make business here than in Medellin or here than in Mexico or even in Montevideo across the river. So you have to understand these regulations. The primary legal and consideration is in terms of taxes, is in terms of permits you have to create or not to create a company there. Is in terms of culture also, because each country has different culture in terms of bureaucracy or in terms of requirements or bureaucracy. Everybody understand what is bureaucracy. So
Yeah,
this is the main
completely
challenge.
different.
Yes.
Maybe grabbing this answer to eventually suggest one strategy is to select really well the first country you want to enter or to start your business. Maybe it's the country you live in, maybe it's not, but also define that probably it's going to be easier to start in one place, the one you have a better approach or you have a better product too, and then you can grow to the other countries. Maybe going to all different countries is going to be a little bit crazy and costly as well. What are your thoughts, Jose, please?
One more time, I agree with Horacio. I think Latin America is quite like you have to be careful with the governments and how the government change in Latam. So sometimes we're going to be someone for the right, another for the left, and select carefully the countries that you're going to launch. I think that the opportunities are there, and you have to be very careful with that. And also find partners in the countries. So a lot of people living there, having a lot of experience. So I think the best way for you to understand the regulatory is to hire someone there, and they're going to like lead you from the whole process. And it's not about just the law in Latin America. We follow the law, but we also don't follow the law. So someone
Important
from the
tips.
country is going to have the tricks and tips.
Important tips. I will come back
Yes, and you
to
need
another. Oh, go ahead.
and you need
please.
sorry, and you need to understand where is the best location to create the company or your holding or whatever in terms of the future. You have to have a plan, a roadmap, because sometimes it's better to create a company in a country that is investable or is possible to invest from or recognize it as a very good company, a very good country to invest from outside the Latin America, so I guess in US or Europe. So you need to decide where to build a company, where are the barriers, which are the barriers, sorry, and that is what I want to say. That's you have to select to select the country where you're going to start. Is a must.
You are right. And I was about to say, to tell some things about the Founder Institute Acceleration, and Nada just asked about it. So, yeah, there are Latin American accelerators or programs to support startups in each country. You can even be in another country, for example, and attend Founder Institute program in the country you are going to launch your business. So, for example, here in Brazil, we have some founders from Angola, from Portugal, from Argentina. I know that are some Argentinian founders attending programs in Chile, for example. So you can manage to do that. Once the programs they are online, you can just enroll and yeah, you can have not only the support from the program, but also start networking, as we have been saying here in these last few minutes, networking with potential investors, mentors. So yeah, it's a good plan to do that. Yeah, and that you can find that, and you can find that on Founder Institute. So you can just enter fi.co and check the countries you are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
we have some more questions here. I will soon come back to another question Mohammed did for us, but we have also one from Norman Abila. What is the best way to contact VCs not located in Latin America for companies working or launching here in Latin America? Jose?
Yes. Whether just give me a second. What's the best way to contact a VC not located in America Latina for companies working or launching in America Latina? I think the question is tricky because um, so if you're looking for a VC outside of Latin America and you want to work in Latam, USA is the best place. So like the best way to contact the VCs in the USA is this is going to be sounds like funny, but LabCa has a directory, and the directory is the official list of venture capitalists and VCs working legally in the USA. I think it's a great place to start, and there from that point you can filter them and have a clear roadmap that you are contacting accredited VCs and partners in the US. Looking for that name give you a sense of a roadmap, and from that point you can like filter for VCs investing in Latam.
yeah. I know that there are some recognized investors or in the US that are looking to Latam. Yes, Y Combinator, Driver, whatever. So they, and even some of them have local offices in some of the in any of the countries in Latam. So they are constantly looking at startup in the different countries in the region to see if something interesting is appearing in the ecosystem. So you need to do the homework. You need to understand which are the investors, which are the investors looking at Latam, which are the investors looking at Latam in some specific thesis. So you will find them. As we talked before, if you are starting to create networking locally, if you are starting to show yourself in a program, in a university program, in a government concourse or whatever, you start to show yourself there, you are going to be seen. If your product and solution is good and have the market fit to the thesis that the VC is looking for, you are going to be seen. That's real.
You have to be seen so that people will remind of you, right?
Yeah.
So we have another, and thank you both for the answers. Before bringing the other question, I would like to ask you, everyone who is participating here, to answer a poll that we are going. So you have a menu there for a poll, so that we can understand if you are looking to launch or expand your startup in Latin America. Please answer that so that we can know you better. Yeah, thank you for that. So Please answer so that we can understand better how we can help you out. Also, I was thinking here, and we are going to give three free of the hour here, or three mentor session with between or among the people who answered this poll. So please, if you wanted to have a mentor session with myself, feel free to answer that, and I will be happy to talk. I don't know if it's live, so I don't know what Horacio and Jose. If you want to do the same, feel free.
Yes, okay. It's okay for me.
Okay, so okay, awesome. So please answer, and we're going to reach out to you to schedule these office hours. So we have one more question here from CN Gary. What are the best practices to for validating a product idea in Latin American markets? I will start answering that before passing to Horacio and Jose. Uh, but what I would say is, after studying the market and understanding which market you understand, you have a better fit. Go be creative and reach out to your supposed or ICP, your ideal customer profile, or the one you imagine you have by the beginning of the business, and try to validate some concepts without investing a lot of money. I think it's so important for you to validate these concepts, ideas, by talking to people uh, who will be eventually your clients in the future. Please, Horacio and Jose.
No, I totally agree. You need to create. It's very easy. It's easy for in my opinion. It's easy to validate the product here. You have a lot of people willing to try new technologies, try new product, new solutions. So you need to understand which is the market you are willing to attack. If I can say, no, not different from any other answer in the state is the same. If you are willing to validate your product, you will have to test the market, try understand which market are you going to, testing with some of them if there is a willing to use or prove or test your technology or whatever you are making. You need to understand the diversity we have here in Latin America. So sometimes you have cultures issues that will not allow you to create something, or and in the other side of the frontier you will have people willing to use your solution. Yeah, I don't know if you understand that, but it's a cultural issue. So is there the only difference between the states of Europe or other continent with Latin America in order to validate the idea is the the diversity of cultures we have here. That's the issue you have to think about before starting to prove your idea.
Yeah, I completely agree, Horacio. And maybe another tip is uh, invert your way of imagining your business. You don't have really to uh, tell what is going to be done, what the solution you are going to build. You have to ask your potential clients, right? So it's going to be helpful not only to validate our idea, but especially to learn from your clients or potential clients what they need, what they really need, and eventually how they are somehow answering that or solving that problem. It may give you amazing ideas on how to solve this problem you are seeking to solve. So I have another question here from Nada, and Jose, I will ask you to answer that. How important it is to have a local co-founder or advisor for navigating the region effectively? So, and And you can also bring to this answer if in Ganas BC you are also searching for co-founders from different or that are based here in the region.
I think it's very important if you want to open a company in Latam, have a founder like grow up there. It's going to help you with the language, with the culture, and everything. But I think it's nice to have. But sometimes I have seen founders like from USA or for Europe doing really great in Latam. So I think it's nice. It's a nice to have, but if you not have that, also is okay. What we are looking for in Ganas Venture is diversity. So I think that is more important that um, I don't think it's more important, but that is what we look for. So if you can organize a diverse founder team, so the founder and the co-founder are a really good complement, and they can complement each other with weaknesses and stronger sides. I think that is what you have to look for. Instead of the region that the co-founder or the founder comes from, is how can you take advantage of what they can bring to the table to found the company.
So complementary skills and being from
Vision.
the country or maybe close to the country you are about to launch, right? Horacio?
Yes, I totally agree. You need to be part of the community. So if you are not from here, you are not and you are looking to go to a country to create a new company, you need to seem like the local person there. So sometimes you need to move there. In some countries is almost a cultural need to move there to start or expand a company. I have a lot of people of person I know that they have to move as an example to Mexico to expand the local company in Buenos Aires, sorry, to other company to create or expand in another country, move to Mexico, move to Bogota, or move to Santiago. It's also a part of the game is to move behind the money. So some countries like Chile have a lot of funds supporting startups. So many companies start the business in Santiago because of that. Of course, Mexico and Brazil are big markets. So if you have a product that needs a lot of people trying and buying your product, Brazil and Mexico are good places to expand. In terms of Buenos Aires, in Argentina, we have we are a very good sandbox to try and execute and, and try to try the solution and have errors and you will not have a market problem if you fail here. Try and fail. That is what I say. I wanted to say. And if you need talent, you have to look at what country where is the talent in your country. So sometimes you need to go to the country. You need to have a person in the country. You need to have a trusted partner in the country to get there.
That's right. I agree. We have one other question, and then after the answers, we're going to move to the network session. So let's bring some more content here before that. So we have a question from Abraham. Nice to have you here, Abraham. We met some weeks before in a event to help in a university here in Brazil to help students from the university and some other people to start building their business. So nice to have you here, Abraham. I'm really happy with that. So, in the process of growing a startup, at what point is it advisable to look for opportunities outside the country or the most common countries?
I told it before. If you need markets and you are in a small country, you are going to try your product in Mexico or in Brazil. It depends of the language. It depends of the culture of the country. Before going to the US or Europe, this is why you need to go outside, because you don't have a local market that will help you escalate and achieve your goals in the roadmap. That's why I'm looking outside the country. If you are in a big country and you don't have the needs you have the market in your own country, you don't need to go out of the country. It's simple for me. The answer.
Before Jose, I would like to say one thing in a completely different direction. Uh, Sometimes making US dollars or euros is better than making your own currency, and maybe sometimes it's not going to be a so bigger effort to reach out to these markets. So I put this in consideration as well when
It's okay.
deciding
I
when
agree.
to or not to grow to other countries. It makes sense for you, Horacio?
Yes, totally. Yes,
Great.
I had
Yeah,
this.
I'm telling that it's specifically because in my startup we have been doing that. So yeah, it's different, especially if you have different time zones and everything. But yeah, we like doing that, right? We
Yes.
like working to make the business
Yes,
grow.
most of the startup in Argentina, mainly not only Buenos Aires, of course, Cordoba is a very big city. We have Founder Institute there.
Yeah,
We have a different ecosystem down here, but most of them, most of the entrepreneurs are looking to work with other countries, mostly because of the change rate, exchange rate, because uh, having dollars here is better for us in going to live in terms of living. But also because we don't have a very local big market. So these are the two main
nice.
conditions.
Yeah, thank you, Horacio. What are your thoughts on that, Jose? Please.
Um, yes, I agree. Like, I think like you both have a point. So if the market is as big as Brazil, you are making it in Sao Paulo, probably is going to be a really nice niche. And if you don't want to be a unicorn, it's going to be fine. No, I think it also depends of the goals of the entrepreneur. So you want to sell the company in a series A, B, C, you're going to be a unicorn. Not the whole path is for everybody. And I think it's something that we don't talk a lot in this kind of situations. But as an entrepreneur myself, um, I did an exit uh, with $2 million, and it was nice. So, what are you looking for? I think is the question for the entrepreneurs that are hearing this.
What a great answer you both brought us. I will just take the chance to answer the last question from Mohammed. So, what approaches work best for customer acquisition and retention in the region? I will start answering, and then we can move to the network session. But I would say uh, it depends. It depends on the country, depends on the segment you are going to work at. So, with this information, maybe during the office hour, if you wish, we can discuss this further, but it depends a lot. Agree?
Agree, totally
Or
agree.
it's hard to answer. It's a very broad question. So knowing better and deeper what you are up to develop, it's going to be easier to answer you properly. So I would like to thank you, Jose and Horacio. It was great. Unfortunately, too short time to talk. I would love to spend much more time talking to you guys, but we have to wrap up and to go to this amazing network session we are going to have right now. So thank you again.